What if you could end your day with a single ordinary gesture that turns the room into a shelter? Picture this. The phone is face down, the notifications sealed outside the moment like rain on a window, and there, on your nightstand, a clear glass of water catches that light like a small lake at evening. Your shoulders are heavier than you admit. The day asked for more than felt fair. You sit on the edge of the bed and notice your own breathing, uneven at first, then a little slower. You wrap both hands around the glass the way someone holds a warm mug in winter, but the water is cool, steady, simple. You whisper, "My refuge." You didn't think a glass of water could become a doorway. And yet, tonight, it is. What if a 2-minute practice changed your nights? There's a psalm that understands what happens to us after dark. Psalm 91 speaks of shelter and shadow, refuge and fortress. It names the terror by night and the arrow by day without sensationalizing them. It doesn't promise that nothing will ever press in. It promises that when things press in, God covers, guards, steadies. Whoever dwells in the shelter of the Most High will rest in the shadow of the Almighty, it says, and then invites us to say out loud, "He is my refuge and my fortress, my God in whom I trust." Scripture gives us a shape for this habit. If night is when fear likes to rehearse and replay, then night is exactly the hour to rehearse and replay trust. The glass of water is not magic, it's a simple sign of provision. God leading us beside still waters, like Psalm 23 describes. And Jesus on a festival day once cried, "If anyone is thirsty, let him come to me and drink," urging parched hearts toward a deeper well. Tonight we borrow those images as a shape for a practice. Read Psalm 91, hold water, breathe, speak refuge, sip peace. Here is the rule of the challenge: clear, small, doable. For 21 nights, sometime between 9 CAS and 10:30 p.m., prepare a clear glass of water and set it on your nightstand. When you're ready for bed, silence your phone and place it face down out of reach. Sit or kneel by the bed. Open to Psalm 91 and read it aloud once, not hurried, with the kind of pacing you wish your day had given you. When you finish, hold the glass with both hands and breathe slowly for 60 seconds, letting your shoulders drop on the exhale. Then say 3 times, with a steady voice, "My refuge and my fortress." Take 3 small sips, no more, no rush. Finally, write 3 short lines in a notebook you keep by the lamp. 1 fear you're recarrying, 1 protection you noticed today, and 1 gratitude. Then turn off the light, that's it, no theatrics. No performance. Just 21 nights of the same door quietly opening to the same room of trust. Of course, the night is not empty. On the nights when your phone begs for 1 more scroll, your thumb will hover like an anxious bird over the glowing screen. You will say, "Just 5 minutes," and the algorithm will turn that into 40. This is why we practice, to shorten the distance between desire and discipline. Lay the phone face down in another part of the room before you begin. If there are kids in the house, the bedtime routine may overflow into yours. Someone needs water. Someone needs 1 more song. Someone is scared of the dark. You can let that frustrate you, or you can fold the ritual into it. Bring a second small glass, whisper Psalm 91 in the doorway, teach a child to say, "My refuge," as if passing them a flashlight for the hallway. And then there's the late-night brain, the to-do list that keeps checking itself, the email you remember at 11:18 p.m., the regret that wanders in with muddy shoes. If work runs late and you arrive home with eyes like sand, do the 2-minute version at your desk. Read the psalm softly, hold the water, breathe, sip, write 3 small lines, then go brush your teeth and sleep. The point is not the setting's perfection, the point is keeping the appointment. To make it as easy as breathing, arrange the room before the room arranges you. After dinner, pour a fresh glass and set it on a small tray with a pen and a pocket notebook. Add a bookmark to Psalm 91 so there's no searching in the blue light. When the evening deepens, dim the lamp so your eyes know what time it is. If it helps, set a gentle alarm labeled "Shelter" between 9 and 10 miles p.m., a soft bell that doesn't startle but nudges. When you sit, read the psalm slowly. Let your mouth say what your heart needs to hear. When you reach the words about wings and refuge, rest your free hand on your chest for 1 breath. 60 seconds of slow breath is not a lot, but it is enough to tell your nervous system that you are not in a race. Say 3 times, "My refuge and my fortress," the way a captain checks anchor lines. Take 3 small sips, not to quench thirst, but to consent to care. Then write, 1 fear, 1 protection, 1 gratitude. Keep it simple. Fear, the meeting tomorrow. Protection, a friend texted me at noon. Gratitude, the sun through the blinds. If you miss a night, do not punish yourself by adding extra the next night. No accumulations, no guilt. You simply begin again where you are. Consistency grows like a vine, quietly around the same trellis. Small helps will keep you steady. Consider a wordless playlist at very low volume, something like a long river, nothing with lyrics to tug at your attention. Use a small tray or cloth to mark the corner of the nightstand as a kind of little altar, not to be dramatic, but to make the place clear to you and your senses. If you share a room, let your roommate or spouse know that you will be reading softly and breathing for 1 minute each night. Invite them to join, or simply offer the courtesy of quiet. If you tend to forget, put the notebook partially beneath the glass so you can pick one up without seeing the other. And remember, water is simple, but it speaks. The feel of the glass, the coolness against your palms, the steady weight. These are all ways your body learns what your mind sometimes struggles to trust. You are held. Don't expect fireworks, expect small weather patterns shifting. After the first few nights, you may notice that sleep arrives like a person you recognize instead of a door you must kick in. The time between turning off the lamp and being taken by rest shortens. Rumination finds less oxygen because you granted your worries a place on paper, and then you set them down like stones at the foot of a tree. 3 sips will not end every anxiety, but they will teach your hands to choose calm. In the morning, you may find that you rise not triumphant but simply more available to the day's demands, less brittle at email 1, slower to snap at the car that cuts you off, more curious with a colleague who seems distant. Over a week, the glass of water begins to mean something. Your body will anticipate the slow breath as a preface to peace. Over 2 weeks, you start recognizing protection in places you never paused to name. I got through that conversation. I was kinder than I expected. I was more brave than I felt. These are small, measurable changes. They are not a medal ceremony. There is poetry in the way the Bible keeps giving us pictures to carry. Imagine wings that cover like a soft roof. Imagine feathers that are not fragile but strong as architecture. Psalm 91:4. Imagine a table set in the presence of tension, like Psalm 23 promises, not the removal of enemies, but a feast that declares you are not at their mercy. When you hold the water, imagine peace as something you can carry like a small lamp down a hallway on your way to sleep. When you breathe, picture that lamp brightening. When you sip, picture that table pulling you a chair. On nights when fear exaggerates its own size, remember the psalmist's honesty about terror by night. The Bible doesn't mock fear, it meets it. And it gives you words that are not merely self-talk but prayer. My God in whom I trust. Someone will say, what if I feel nothing? What if I'm just tired and the words fall flat? That's fine. Constancy is its own kind of feeling. A seed doesn't feel different just because it sits in the soil. It simply sits where growth happens. Keep the appointment. Another person will say, should I give something up? Consider a light optional abstention. 15 minutes without screens before the ritual. Let the nervous system stop juggling. And if you have medical guidance about fluids before sleep, honor it with integrity. Use a small glass or adjust the sipping to one symbolic taste. Everything here is symbolic and aligned to a long, steady tradition of simple, embodied prayer. No superstition, no bargains, no replacement for professional care. This practice won't heal everything. It will give you a way to keep seeing the healer. By the time the 21st night approaches, the practice will feel ordinary in the best way, like washing your face or locking the door before bed. So what happens after the challenge ends? Keep the habit 3 nights a week. Let it be a rhythm, not a law. On some weeks, rotate Psalm 91 with Psalm 121, the one that lifts eyes to the hills and reminds that the Maker of heaven and earth doesn't slumber. Or with Psalm 4, which lays down both trust and sleep in the same breath. And my fortress, my God in whom I trust, and carry it in your pocket during the day. On very busy nights, keep a 2-minute altar of silence. Touch the glass with both hands, receive a single sip, whisper, my refuge, and breathe. Rituals are scaffolding, not cages. They help you carry what you believe into the hour when belief forgets how to walk. You come home, set your bag down, and somewhere between brushing your teeth and pulling the comforter back, your hand reaches for the notebook without thinking. The glass catches the lamplight like it always does. You're not chasing a mood, you're practicing a posture. You read the psalm softly, and tonight a single line stands up straighter than the others. You sip, and tonight the cool water carries you towards sleep without a speech about control. You write, fear, the quarterly review, protection, the friend who called. You turn off the lamp and the room does not change shape. Let's return to where we began, to the glass under the lamp. The psalm says what it has said for centuries, the way a faithful friend repeats the same blessing night after night: shelter, shadow, refuge, fortress. Your hands grow familiar with the gesture. Your breath grows familiar with the pace. The water is just water, yes. That even in a world of open tabs and shifting headlines, there is a quiet place to stand and say, my God in whom I trust. If you're willing to try this for 21 days, to set aside 2 minutes each night and let trust practice you, type, I'm in. Then pour the water, set the phone down, and begin tonight. The lamp is ready. The psalm is open. The hour belongs to peace.